We're all set to go. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our regular council meeting for July 14th, 2025. Reminder to council to disclose any pecuniary interest or general nature thereof. Hearing none, approval of the agenda. Todd, Smokey, any questions, comments on the agenda? Call the vote. All in favor? Opposed? The motion's carried. Minutes for June 23rd. Mover and second by Rod and Amon. Any questions or comments on the minutes? Call the vote. All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Public meetings. We don't have any public meetings today. And we'll move right to delegations. Item 5 on the agenda, 5A. Bruce Peninsula Virtual Care. And we have Elijah on. Can you hear us, Elijah?
Yes, I can. Can everyone hear and see me?
Yep. So you can introduce yourself and you're ready to go.
Okay. Do you want me to share my screen, or is someone going to change the slides for me?
Just wait till we get organized. Are we? We'll change them for you.
Great. Thank you very much. Okay. Good afternoon, esteemed council members. My name is Elijah Marcella. I'm a lifelong Northern Bruce Peninsula resident and a local nurse practitioner. I'm speaking here today proposing municipal funding for a nurse practitioner-led virtual healthcare clinic in order to improve access to healthcare. Next slide, please. The Northern Bruce Peninsula is classified by the Ministry of Health and Long-Term Care as a rural healthcare geography. It's no surprise to anyone here that we have an older and aging population, which increases our need for quality healthcare. Next slide. Like much of Ontario, we are currently experiencing the consequences of a physician shortage. Many residents of the Northern Bruce Peninsula do not have access to a family doctor. Without any other options, like a walk-in clinic, in order to access care, residents are forced to receive their health care through the emergency department, even if it is not an emergency. This means that residents without a family doctor are forced to travel long distances, spend their money on gas and parking, and are faced with long wait times in the ER, and are often contributing to the overcrowding of the ERs because they're there for non-urgent issues. Next slide. In response to this issue, I started a nurse practitioner-led virtual healthcare clinic, and I'm offering same-day virtual care appointments after hours and on the weekends, providing residents of the Northern Bruce Peninsula with prescription medications, ordering laboratory tests, x-rays, filling out medical forms, and referrals to specialists. Next slide. Since launching my virtual healthcare clinic, I have helped over 100 local residents access healthcare and keep them out of the ER. This means over 100 residents who were able to have a prescription medication, get antibiotics for a common infection, have an x-ray to diagnose an injury, all for the comfort of their home without needing to travel and wait hours in the ER. Next slide. Unfortunately, due to current Ontario legislation, nurse practitioners are unable to bill OHIP like a physician can. This means that unless nurse practitioners are working in a salaried position, they must bill patients privately for their care. Currently, my virtual healthcare clinic has to operate privately, and patients are forced to pay out of pocket. The result is our clinic is limited to those who can afford to pay for virtual care. Next slide. In light of the current Northern Bruce Peninsula physician recruitment program, I am proposing the municipality allocates the same amount of money to my virtual healthcare clinic so that I'm able to provide subsidized, free virtual care appointments to residents of the Northern Bruce Peninsula who do not have a family doctor, spread over the course of 2 years. This targeted investment will provide immediate access to care reduce ER visits, and demonstrate the municipality's commitment to innovative community-based health. Next slide. In exchange for the proposed $35,000, my clinic would provide 750 free virtual care appointments to residents of the Northern Bruce Peninsula over 2 years. The municipality would essentially be bulk purchasing appointments at a 10 to 12.5% discount and providing them to the residents free through my clinic. Next slide. In comparison, the municipality has provided $35,000 to local physicians for a 2-year commitment of working in the area. This attracts physicians to the area and helps more residents become rostered to a family doctor at the clinic, but those who cannot are still forced to seek care in the ER. Our model would see those residents without a family doctor have an alternative method of immediate access to care. Next slide. This virtual care model would solidify the municipality as a forward-thinking, healthcare-first community by providing their residents with faster access to care, lowering the wait times in the ER, and saving healthcare spending. Next slide. If the funding were to be approved, we are currently operating and would be able to implement the program within a matter of weeks. I would be happy to provide the municipality and the council with monthly usage reports to track progress. I'm proposing a 2-year contract with the potential to renew, and the funding would be to assist the clinic to expand our hours to be during business hours as well as evenings and weekends, and bring in more nurse practitioners to connect more patients to care. Next slide. I thank you very much for your time, and I'm open to any questions from the council at this time.
All right, thank you, Elijah. And questions? Any questions? Yes, Spooky. Yep.
This is really interesting, and you've got to appreciate totally new to us as far as ideas of where the municipality comes into our healthcare, which we certainly support. It's so important. But so you see your patients virtually?
That's right. I don't offer any in-person visits, and I don't switch out calls in order to keep costs low. So I don't rent a space. I don't travel to the patients. It's all done through telehealth, so a video call. And through that, I'm able to prescribe the same medications as a family doctor. I can order tests like blood work and x-rays at the local hospitals. I can refer to specialists, all via video call.
Okay, so say someone wanted blood pressure medication, how does that work?
Yeah, there's many considerations. And first and foremost, I would say I practice very safe virtual care, meaning that I do turn down appointments that are not appropriate to be done virtually. But if someone needed a blood pressure pill refilled that had been prescribed previously, and they were able to provide recent blood pressure readings, meaning they had checked it at home or at a Shoppers Drug Mart per se, I can do an electronic fax to the local pharmacy, who can then fill that prescription for the patient.
Thank you.
So Elijah, I'm just looking at, so the presentation we have on page 8, it is a breakdown of the subsidized price. So you say the regular price is $50 and then subsidized or discounted rate is 45. So that's the total price that you charge, or?
Excuse me, I should be more clear. So currently the $50 for a 15-minute visit is the price. What I'm proposing with the funding is that the municipality would bulk purchase some appointments at a discounted rate so that I could provide them to residents for free. So if the funding were to be approved, residents of the Northern Bruce Peninsula who did not have a family doctor would not pay for those appointments. The municipality would be purchasing them from me at a discounted rate.
Okay. All right. And So if there were more than 750, then what?
Yeah, that's a great question. And like I said, I would be happy to provide monthly usage reports so that we could see where we were trending, to see if we were using plenty of the appointments and we were going to go over 750. I would be happy to discuss, what to do in that case if we wanted to renew or extend or purchase more appointments. I'm open to ideas on that.
Okay. Rod,
Yeah, you mentioned that nurse practitioners wouldn't get funding from the provincial government. Seems kind of unfortunate because it seems like a good way to do things here. What are your thoughts on potentially having that happen in the next little while? That the provincial government would indeed hire you and keep you on their payroll, so to speak.
Yeah, so I should clarify, some full-time permanent nurse practitioner roles are funded by the Ministry of Health, but we're provided a salary to work in that role and see that roster of patients only. So for example, I work at a local long-term care home, and that my funding technically does come from the ministry, but only to see those residents of the long-term care home and only during the hours I'm there. So if I wanted to see a different patient outside of those hours and do something like virtual care, there's no funding for that. I do hope that one day the Ministry of Health of Ontario will support nurse practitioner OHIP billing. And I would be happy to see that, but I'm not here today to talk about what may or may not happen in the future.
all right. Any other questions? If not, Elijah, I want to thank you for your presentation, and we'll have our staff take a look at that and come back with some information to us to see how and where we're going to go with it, Elijah. So
Thank
appreciate,
you very much for your time, and I look forward to hearing from you.
yeah, appreciate the update. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right. Next is delegation number 2, and that is Gord Lang. Do we have Gord here? Yeah, Gord. Okay. Well, welcome, Gord. Just sit. Yeah, bring another chair up and join them. Yeah, and you can identify. Okay.
So I'm Andy Dales, and I'm the Gord and I are involved with the International Plowing Match for 2026. So, well, yeah. Sorry about that. I'm Andy Dales, and this is Gord Lang. We're involved with the International Plowing Match and Rural Expo for 2026, which is going to happen outside of Walkerton. So we'd like to thank you for having us here today. So we'll just walk through the presentation, and it's more informative. We're trying to get around to all the Bruce County municipalities, just so we can, so everybody knows the events coming down the pipe. So we can go to the next slide. Yeah, and this is our first one, so you have to bear with us. Yeah, so it's happening September 22nd to 26th, 2026. The event's going on in the same location, 800 acres just west of Walkerton, the same location that the plowing match was held in 1976 and 1993. We're expecting to get 200,000 people to this event. So, yeah, we're looking to get the word out as much as far and wide as we can. That's why we're here. Yeah, and what to expect at the event, we're looking at parades, RV campgrounds, concerts, demonstration, vendors, exhibitions, plowing events, special events, and stuff for the families and friends. Yeah, we put applications out to like the Snowbirds, musical ride, a bunch of these things, and we're expecting to hear back from these things in the next 30 days. So just other things to really draw people forward. Can I see the next slide? Opening ceremonies will include several politician dignitaries, premiers. We were in Lindsay last year, and the premier and pretty well his whole caucus and everybody was there. So the Prime Minister has attended in the past to the plowing match. Kim Campbell was at 93. I think she wasn't very long in office, but she was there and she did plow. So our MP and MPPs will be in attendance. There'll be a VIP tent for local politicians with some access, and several other ministers, and will be on hand. What do you got there, Gord? Oh yeah, I'm sure Warden and I think a lot of you folks would be at that event as well. Okay, we're sure hoping you'll come. So our goals, next slide, please. So our goals and ambitions. If this event is to be successful, we're hoping to generate about $3 million in revenue. There'll be lots of spin-off revenue, including accommodations, other businesses that will be used. We use local businesses as much as possible for signage, for souvenirs, for supplies for the event. We're hoping to have $800,000 to $1 million left to dispense into the county with profits. We're currently seeking sponsorships from local businesses and corporations. That book that we passed out early is the sponsorship book. Signage is in place on the site. We're hosting several fundraising events. We've had a kickoff event already. We have active websites and social media. So if you look up the website and Facebook pages and stuff are all in that material as well. So we're trying to drum up lots of excitement over the next year and a bit. Can I have the next screen, please? We're currently selling souvenirs, again, on those pieces of literature, promotional stuff. We have QR codes to get into a virtual store for souvenirs. There's several local transport trucks driving up and down the road. Yeah, so we're just trying to get the word out as much as we possibly can. Next slide, please. What we would like from the Bruce County municipalities, we would like all the municipalities to showcase in the combined Bruce County exhibit. And I think you're probably aware of this. We deal with Jeff Loney, and Jeff is, I think, like downstreaming it to you guys, I think, or keeping you guys all informed, I think.
I'm not sure, but Jeff is the county economic development officer, so he'll be contacting our staff in time. Yeah,
perfect. We'd like to help with promotions of the event, any web-based promotion or municipal sites that we could add on to. Help with locations on all community bulletin boards to be able to advertise, like getting closer up to the event, just to keep in front of mind. Access to community facilities for meetings and events. I know in the past that's been something that some of the municipalities have offered the group. Help with any road signage that committees wish to employ. So we'll probably be looking for, and I know that there's lots of rules around putting signs up and all that kind of stuff. So we'll have to work with your staff. helping any, help with access to municipal airports. Like I said before, we do have an application in for the snowbirds. And any monetary or in-kind donations will be recognized in the sponsorship. We'll be working with recently formed, well, the municipality and county committee for our site needs. Next, please. We are, no, that one's done already. Okay, this is our whole thing. I think I missed, did I miss one slide? Okay, just maybe go back to the first slide, please. First or second? Oh, yeah. Where did I? Yeah, under Gord. So just so you know what's going on, under Gord, there's a steering committee of 9 individuals who are responsible for 14 different committees, chairs each, who are in charge of 60 subcommittees and chair people. So we're expecting in the end to have somewhere in the vicinity of 1,800 volunteers to make this all go. And then you can go back to the very last slide, and that's kind of our org chart, which is available to you guys if you have any questions for any specific chairs or leads or whatever.
All right. First one, and it worked. Good. Any questions of Andy or Gord? Yes, yeah,
I always have a question. No, it's a good one.
no,
No,
usually more than one, yeah.
Yeah, I could go on all day. It's a good, I mean, I've been to the plowing match over the years. We used to go for my company and blah, blah, blah. But so you're asking for funding from each municipality, or is the county gonna do this out of their budget?
We're sorry. We're not real sure on that. The county has created this committee, this ad hoc committee for us, so that we're gonna approach each municipality or they're looking after that for us. Okay, so Jeff Loney is our county rep and looking forward so that we don't have to go to every municipality, ask for funding for this or signage or whatever. He's gonna look after all that.
Okay, because that's why I wasn't sure about the presentation. If you were here looking, you're just at this point saying we're doing this, we'd like you to be involved. And then, because of course, my view would be that the county we sent a lot of money to the county, that they be and we are quite away from Walkerton, and the spinoff, although I realize that, a lot of people up here are certainly interested in that, and we do have a strong farming committee.
You guys are part of Bruce County. That's why we're
Yes,
here.
we wonder
I can even.
bit, but we are, yes.
I-
There's a lot of people come through
You're-
Bruce County up the road.
Absolutely.
So, yes, I was just curious if, on the funding aspect, if they were paying or we were paying.
Yeah.
We did give $500 to the Chichiman committee, so
This is,
we do fund
this
festivals.
is.
Yeah, we need more than this meeting to convince her we're part of the county. So, yeah,
Apparently, my roots are from Hepworth, so I realize what it's like here, so.
yeah. Well, I think
anyways,
the county does guarantee a loan for you.
They have, yes, they've
Yes.
given us some money, some seed money to
Yes.
already start with.
Yes,
And
typically.
this is just purely an informative meeting to let all you guys know.
get the word out.
Yes, please put the word out,
Yeah.
put the signs up here. We wish it could be maybe in between us, but this is where they picked to put it, and we're gonna run it, and we're gonna have a very successful event, and we wish everybody would come with us.
Yeah, well, typically it has been very successful past in Bruce County, so no
Very
reason
much.
why this one won't be.
Very much so.
Okay, well, that's good. And we'll be dealing with Jeff if there's no further questions. We'll be dealing with Jeff, will be our contact, so
100%.
we'll wait for that to filter down to our staff and see where we go.
We appreciate your time and listening to us today. Thank you very, very much.
I appreciate the presentation. Thank you.
Okay. Take care, guys.
Yeah, you as well. Yeah.
You better get your tractor out and start practicing.
Yeah, I'll let.
Paul, Mark, you do everything.
Take care. Okay, we'll go right to our agenda. Item A is the Lions Head Drinking Water System Financial Plan, and of course, it gives us a rate there that from 25 to 31, 5% annual increase in both the flat rate and the metered rate. So I'll move in second to bring that one forward. Todd and Smokey. Any questions on that one? We had a presentation on this month or two ago or 2 months ago, something like that. So this is just a follow up from that, Troy. And do you have any comment on Troy?
No, it's we just need to complete the financial plan
Yeah.
as part of our drinking water license.
Yeah.
There's a state of the report. There's numerous things that we need to have in order to obtain a license.
Yeah.
Drinking water permit and such forth. Yes.
To keep the system going, we need money. So we have to have these little increases.
And council has already allocated a 5% increase in the fees and charges for the 2025. So this kind of just reiterates what what we've already council already.
Okay, we'll call any questions. We'll call a vote. All in favor? Opposed? The motion is carried. Item B on the agenda is the GIS IT manager. And it's awarding a contract for fully managed IT services. And they're recommending MNP Digital for a 5-year term. Mover and seconder for that. Move on. Rod? Any questions on that one? Kara, any updates on this one?
No updates. Happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Yes, Smokey.
I guess I'm just a little confused, because this is a whack of money. Close to $100,000 the first year. So I guess I would kind of like in layman's terms, because that's what I require to even ask what exactly this do, and who's doing this now? Like, is this something new? Or what happens with, like, say these programs that we purchase, like Cloud Permit. Do they not include some of these benefits? Like, it seems like this is like an overreaching thing on things that we are already purchasing from some of these programs like iCloud and the different ones that, so I guess just explain it to dummy here.
Sure. So since at least 2021, Infinity has been providing the solution. We've seen the cost come down over the years with, I don't want to say just bringing me on board, but with moving to a lot of things to the cloud, you're right, there are support that are included in those other contracts. This support is more it's for our network. It's to make sure that we're having the security training and that we're available and able to get cyber insurance, which is very important in these days and age where that's becoming, criminals are enjoying trying to get people and their data. So this provides that. This contract also, we were looking for a partner who's going to help us progress. So we've come a long way since 2021 or since really 2020, since Peggy's come and since we've had that first IT kind of roadmap. And so now that we've done everything in that recommended plan, we just felt it was, number one, it's been 5 years. It's time to renew the contract and make sure that we're getting the best value for our money. And number two, that we get a new plan so we're guided going forward.
So we won't be seeing bills from Infinity anymore. So that is what,
Yeah.
what, does anybody know what we paid Infinity in the last
I do. So in 2021, we spent over $103,000 a year on it. That number has come down. It's now around 60,000 a year is what we've been paying for the service.
So this isn't exactly new, funding. This is replacing something, maybe a little bit more.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was interested in. Thank you.
No problem.
All right, so we will. If there's any further questions on that one? Call the vote, all in favor? Opposed, motion is carried. Okay. What's going on here? I'm still not in business. There's something going on.
You can get that insurance now?
Okay, we'll move to item C on the agenda. And it is development agreement and no demand for service agreement. And that is on Swan Lake Lane. For lots 35 and 36. 46 on 46 Swan Lake Lane. So, mover and seconder for that one, Todd and Amon. Any questions on that? Yes.
Yes, me again.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know this area all that well, so I want to understand. They were asking for a building permit that is not on a municipal road. And I see the no demand for services, because in the past, it's always been, if you're not on a municipal service road, we don't issue building permits. So in this case, we're asking the developer, the homeowner, so you can get a permit building if you enter into a no demand for services. I just never saw that previously. Like, is that something other people can do too? Because I know there's been situations where people, yeah, go ahead.
No, it has been standard practice. I think it's a little different because our council has the overall authority to approve the no demand for services. Whereas prior to, we'd have the building inspector here to have those, but we have provided these requests before and council has approved them.
Okay, that's great. So then the road into this building will just literally be a long laneway. Is that correct? Like it's not a municipal road, so it'll just act like a long lane. We have no requirements to do anything with this.
I'll just let Troy kind of knows this area really well.
Oh, okay, I'm
Yeah.
just trying to
Yeah,
understand, because I'd be asked about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, so Swan Lake Lane is actually a municipal road allowance.
Okay.
It's summer maintained, but there's no winter maintenance on it. So for clarification on that, to get the no demand for services, they had to sign that to note that there was no services provided in the wintertime, and they would have to take their garbage out to the main road. Going forward, we have provided summer maintenance on this lane in the past, so it is summer maintained. So it's kind of like our seasonally maintained roads, this section. So if that clarifies.
Yeah, and just like in past terms, I know that there has been some issues with the legality of people signing these no demand for services. I assume that has gone by the wayside. And we're clear on this. So I just didn't know that it was a road allowance. I did not know that it was a summer maintained road, although maybe it's in here and I just missed it. No, that's great. Thank you. I have my answers.
Yep, okay. All right, Rod.
Yeah, we've got lots of the same situation here. Like I can think of dozens. So it's not without precedent, that's for sure. Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
All All right, any further questions? Call the vote, all in favor. Opposed, the motion's carried. And item number D, item number D on the agenda is the building department again. And this is to lift a holding zone on lots in Plan 402, 66, 67, 68, 69. And they're going to be legally known now as 100 Whippoorwill Road. Mover and seconder for that one, Rod and Smokey. Any questions on this one?
Those must have been tiny little lots.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we know what they were roughly? Yeah, there must have been.
I'm just looking at the map here and I was trying to figure out.
They, in singletons, they would not be considered buildable lots.
So is that sort of the situation along there in general, or I'm just trying to figure out how this ever happened?
We'd have to look a little bit further into the mapping.
All right, it looks like it's being corrected somewhat.
It's a great thing to do, that's for sure. We'll have four
Yeah,
little.
I had the same question. Any further questions on that one? Call the vote, all in favor? Opposed, the motion's carried. Item E is the building department again, and this is deeming. Now here, I was just noticing it says lots 64 to 69, and then that the one up top says 66 to 69. So I guess I'm not sure how that works or what's going on there, but I'm just wondering if that is correct, or we maybe need to check that. So they're deeming them not to be a plan, 64 to 69 and 402, and they're being consolidated into 100 Whippoorwill Road. So this is item E, mover and seconder for that one, Todd and Amon. Any questions on that? I'll call the vote, all in favor? Opposed, the motion's carried. Item C is Parks and Facilities Manager Report, Seniors Active Living Center, and is an information report, and there's lots going on with the money we receive from the government on that. I forget the ministry, but mover and seconders bring that one forward. Amon and Rod. Any questions on this or comments? Do you have any updates on this, Mark, you want to give, or it's all right here?
No, I just wanted to provide a report in writing to council with all the information. It's kind of hard to put all that out verbally and in 2 minutes too, so it's there for you to refer to.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate the update. Yeah, Smokey.
If you were a senior, like what do you consider a senior to be involved in these programs? And if you were just in the community and you wanted to say sign up for a flower arranging or whatever, like what's the process for that for, say I'm just up here for the summer or I'm a resident?
I believe the senior is 55 plus, and the programs you would register through our recreation program coordinator, Maddie.
Right.
And it's open to everybody. So.
Oh, okay.
Whether we don't break it down, whether you're permanent or seasonal.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
No.
All right. Good to know. Thank you.
Any further questions? Call the vote. All in favor? Opposed? The motion's carried. Parks and Facilities Manager again is item G on the agenda, and that is an RFP results for Ferndale and Pike Bay playgrounds. And they have selected a company, Henderson Recreation Equipment Limited, for the amount stated there. 175, 916, 28 plus HST. Mover and seconder for that, Rod? Come on. Any questions? Is the picture showing, Mark, is that what we're getting, or is that just a,
Those are the designs.
oh, that's.
Yeah. Just a matter of selecting colors, which we can do in short order.
Okay, yeah, good. Rod, you have a question or?
Just a comment as a grandfather of a 3.5-year-old
Yeah.
kid who's a real playground aficionado. He would
Love this.
approve. Yeah, he would give his Huey stamp of approval.
Two thumbs.
2 thumbs up. Yes.
Yeah. Well, the ones on, I know the ones on Lion's Head certainly get used a lot. My God. Yeah, thank you. And so this is, we have a mover and seconder on that. Call a vote. All in favor? Opposed? The motion's carried. And item H is the Municipal Law Enforcement Officer's report. And this is bylaw officer appointments. Further bylaw officer appointments. I guess we seem to get this quite regular, so. Mover and seconder for that one, Smokey and Todd. Any questions on that one? Call a vote, all in favor. Opposed, the motion's carried. Item I. Clerk's report, and this is the sale of an open road allowance policy. It's an information report. We received a request maybe last meeting, I believe, and this is a follow-up with the information on our present policy. And maybe it needs to be tightened up a little bit. And yeah. Any mover and seconder for that? Rod and Todd. So any comments? Yes, Rod?
Yeah, I do agree with you. I think we could make it a little stronger. Because my feeling is it's everybody's sort of thoughts that we don't sell any access to the water.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
Yeah, don't even entertain the idea. So maybe we could go to and work towards that end and go from there.
Yeah. It's pretty important commodity, so. I don't know what the rest of council, how you feel about that.
No, I agree. The process is cumbersome and also for staff, even though, the person wanting to buy is paying everything, like we get into a lot of this. But it is a lot of work for staff as well. And if I think we do need to make it clear though, that people cannot just use road allowances as, adjuncted to their property, because that's happening a lot. And I think we need to do whatever we can within reason to make that really clear.
Yeah, sometimes there's times when there may be a road within a plan of subdivision or something like that, a dedicated road that maybe is of no value or something like that.
Exactly, yes.
That one can remain as far as I am concerned, but as Rod has indicated, I'm on side with that. So, anyone else comment on that? Todd, do you any comment on that?
I think I agree with Rod. I think there would have to be an exceptional reason to want to change that.
Yeah.
As it is, we should keep those allowances just in case.
All right, so we can direct staff to bring maybe a little different wording in our policy. And is that good enough, Alex? Or Or what would you like to see?
So what I heard was council would like the policy to be a little bit more strict with regards to shore road allowances. And then I also heard,
It's- Well, not, yeah, it's actually just access to
road allowances with access to,
water access allowance.
oh, okay, yep.
Because up here, we do have shore road allowance as well, so.
And then maybe some provisions regarding use as well for road allowances.
Yeah, we already have those that in place, like there's is to be no buildings, whatever on road allowances. If they are municipal property, and if there's gonna be any type of altercation or anything on a municipal property, it has, you know, to be approved. And I don't know where that would be approved, but I guess it might in some special circumstance, but just that, you know, that we make an issue, you know, that people know that, even though we're, you know, that. And I think most people do, they just pretend they don't.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
this,
there are full buildings and garages on municipal
Yes,
road
there
allowances, and we all know it.
Yeah. This is basically the sale of that property. This is what we're dealing with on this one, basically, Alex. So. All right, so direction to staff on that one. And do you want that? In a form of a motion or?
I think if you can provide, I think staff will bring back a revised or amended policy for council to
Yes.
review.
Yeah. So do you want the recommendation to say that, to bring back an amended policy?
Let's just see here.
Yeah. Yeah.
If council would like to, yes. Yeah, right now the recommendation is that council receives this for information.
But we did more than that.
And council wishes to provide direction, that's fine too.
Okay. Well, I think maybe we could indicate that we would like to see some amendments to the policy. If that's okay with staff. Who is the mover and second on that?
Deputy Mayor Anderson and Councillor Dowd.
Oh, it does sound, yeah. All right, we'll call the vote on that then. All in favor? Opposed, the motion's carried. And then we have the Chief Administrative Officer's report. And this is always a good report, quarterly update. Operational update, sorry about that. And it's item J on the agenda, and this just kind of brings us up to date on a few things that's been happening, and for each department, which is very helpful. Mover and seconder for that, I'm on. Smokey. So, anybody have any questions on this one? Sorry, I'm trying to, this computer mine's acting crazy here. I don't know what's going on, but. Now I'm back. Go ahead.
Just a quick question in the bylaw section. So parking ticket reviews are higher this year than
that was the one, yeah.
In the past. We will be getting a report outlining those reviews and why those reviews are occurring and where, and there's something we need to do differently.
The reviews of the.
Yeah, like why that's occurring, and like if there's any particular locations that's happening in there.
I can say that it's usually Tobermory where we have the majority of the concerns of the parking tickets. We have received usual concerns of, I just put my parking ticket in and then So staff have to take some time to review to ensure that transaction time and the parking ticket time are fairly in close with each other. Ultimately, the person who receives the parking ticket can come in with their concerns. And we have to be transparent and do that review. So it does take a little time. But that's usually what it is. It seems to be, it tends to slow down at the end of the season. I think maybe people are used to that there is paid parking up here. It always seems to be the start of the season. We have these concerns.
Are these numbers any drastically different than last year?
I would say it's about a 10% increase.
I was in Tobermory on Saturday, Sunday, I forget what it was. It would be Saturday, I guess. And I went to use the parking meter. We had a car up there that didn't have it. I didn't get to. So whatever it was, yeah, whatever you need. And so I went to get a parking pass. And that machine, I'm telling you, it says press OK and there's no OK.
And this is the new program, right?
So, and anyway, so we finally stumbled through it, Bonnie and I. And then we left. And when we were coming back, there was another guy and his wife standing there. And he was trying to figure it out too. Because he said, I said, can I help you? Because I wouldn't be much help, but I said, can I help you? And he said, well, it tells me to press OK here and there's no OK. So where do you press? That's it.
Oh, and seriously, people are frustrated. They've been frustrated.
He was
And
frustrated.
I thought we're getting this whole new program that we wouldn't see that anymore. But it obviously not everything's
Well, the parking attendant.
hunky-dory.
Yeah, they didn't think he was actually that well versed on it either. One of our bylaw officers came along and.
Yeah, it's frustrating for our visitors, and you figure that if English isn't your first language, which is a whole big percentage.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they could be made a little more user friendly, I think. Somehow. Any other questions on that one?
Not on the parking. I just have something else
Yes.
on the report.
Yeah, on the report. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just curious because it'd be interesting. I see I'm really interested in seeing where the MAT tax is coming in and how and the difference in that, and even maybe where it's coming from. As surprised, and I'm sure there's this lag. It says here there's only been 68,000, and that's even if this quarter, so I'm just kind of wondering, we're going to kind of keep track of that, because also the chamber, as you know, Peggy, because you've been talking to them, because they're probably going to need some money up front on a lot of this, because they're operating a large area now. I think it's a big deal putting, because there wasn't a chamber anybody really down here, and putting this all together is a major undertaking, not without fraught, so to speak. And they're putting a lot of effort, I think, into a lot of things to make sure everybody's represented. So I just wondered when we're getting the next report on the MAT. Does that come in every month, or how are we kind of looking at that?
So we do have MAT collection every quarter. We can definitely make changes to this quarterly report to include a section for tourism and municipal accommodation, which we made a nice little section instead of just going department wise. So we can make that changes. Based upon our agreement, I believe that we are to provide the chamber with their 6-month funding. June 30th was our deadline for that annual funding of that amount. In talking to the deputy treasurer, the reminders that are being sent out and the changes to how they are how business owners are able to actually submit MAC has become much easier than it was last year.
Well, I was just gonna say, I have not, and maybe I'm just not in the right area, but I haven't had the negative feedback from the overall, the motels and everything that I certainly heard from when STA owners were first trying to remit the MAC because it was not user friendly at all. So I haven't heard anything from them, but it just, because it's kind of controversial and it'd be nice to be able to show, hey, this is what's collected. This much is going to the chamber. And if and when what we do with that kind of money, it would just be nice to be able to show that. So this 68,000, that's not what we've collected. And I realize a lot of the places take upfront accommodations. This will only be collected and remitted they only remit it at the end of a quarter. Is that correct?
The accommodations, yes, at the end of every quarter, they do need to submit.
Okay.
I can provide, once I have the discussion with the treasurer, I can provide a little bit more detail to the council, and then at the next quarter report, so after the end of the summer.
I just think it'd be interesting to show everyone, and I'm interested to see where that is, what the municipality is able to make, and blah, blah, blah. Thank you.
Just on planning and the applications. So there's a huge increase in the applications from last year. So what mainly are they, Alex? I wonder what.
Yeah, so with regards to the applications, I collect statistics from Bruce County in terms of they have sort of a running list of all their applications that they get through their office.
Okay.
But then we also have applications that we sort of get as well. And some files have two applications. So some will have the zoning bylaw amendment and then also a site plan agreement. So that's two essentially. In the statistics, we also talk about inquiries. So we do get a lot of inquiries, and that takes a fair amount of staff time in terms of sitting down with the person, listening to their proposal, giving them advice on next steps. And same thing with Bruce County. They also track their inquiries. So that's sort of where I get the numbers from when I'm providing.
So those inquiries are in these numbers?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you. And Troy, I was just reading your report, or the Public Works report in there, and like 2 years, we figure we'll be transferring from St. Edmunds. So are we kind of half getting this? Is the state, do we have to build a stage transfer station, or is it there, or?
No, we're pretty well set up. When we did the the upgrades in 2009, that we are able, there might be some minor modifications, but we are doing right now is having our engineers looking at updating our C of A or ECA or certificate of approval or environmental compliance. So we're allowed to do it as a transfer station. And then we'll also be looking at reports for closing it. Right now we have between 1.5 years and 2 years left. It's filling up very quickly.
Yeah.
But so there's more clerical stuff to do with that. But as far as the operational, when we get our new roll-off truck, we're hoping to be able to use a lot of our own existing bins and then just have the bins there. At that time, maybe we'll monitor it, but council may consider adjusting what they accept at the site. Like maybe there'd be maybe it's just household waste. Maybe there wouldn't be other things that you end up trucking, like maybe construction waste, which is bulkier. We'd be better to send it to another landfill, have the contractors go to those other sites instead of transferring it. So we might be wanting to look at adjusting what's accepted there, but the general public would hopefully not really see much difference. Your question.
Well, how many truckloads a week would we be taking? Like, is that a full-time job hauling, or?
No, like right now, in the summertime, we try not to send the the general public back to the active area. So we try to use the bins as much as we can, except for, you know, the contractors that have larger trailers of waste. And we're dumping it twice a week, and that with it being open 2 days. Like usually after it's been open, we will dump it.
So not that bad.
No, I would say maybe twice a week.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions on the operational report? If not, call a vote. All in favor? Opposed? The motion's carried. Next on the agenda is the Museum Committee meeting minutes for June the 12th. Who's going to second for that? Todd? Rob? Any questions on the museum? Call the vote. All in favor? Motion carried. Item L, Climate Action and Waste Diversion Committee minutes. Mover and seconder for them. Come on, Smokey. We mentioned in here, we have our, at least at least the way I kind of understand it, we have our own climate lens thing. Like internal climate lens, and then there's the one that they want us to adopt.
So staff do review our capital improvements and operations through a climate lens. So you look at things such as changing out the LED lights, our operations when it comes to looking at energy efficiencies. We will be bringing a report back to council. You did have the presentation from the chair of the Climate Action Committee regarding the lens. Staff have been doing some work on making how we review climate and the lens that the Climate Action Committee has, and how we can potentially mesh them together to make it more transparent on how we do actually calculate greenhouse gas emissions and items like that. Overall, it will assist us in our annual admissions reporting that we do have to do. But that report will be coming to council.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of thought we kept pecking away sort of at things, like not, maybe not to their satisfaction. I don't know. Yes, okay. Anything else on climate minutes? Call the vote. All in favor? Opposed? The motion's carried. Drainage Committee minutes for March 27th. Todd? Moves the minutes.
Sure.
Rod? Any good stuff in here, Todd?
All good stuff.
Yeah, I see that, yeah. Yeah. I don't see it in, sorry, Roger, yeah. Go, I don't see it in here, but there was a mention of a drone being purchased or being used to measure elevations or LiDAR, some LiDAR
Yeah, so it was brought to our attention at the last drainage meeting last week, which you haven't seen the minutes of that one yet, but it's funding, I believe, that the Biosphere received to fly parts of the Stokes River and Judges Creek drain. And the drone was capable of doing LiDAR imaging. I'm not really totally exactly sure what the Biosphere's plans are to get out of it, but I think it's like the way I understand it, it's to understand where there is a bank unstablement or sloping. Maybe Councillor Dowd, if you took more of that meeting, but I believe that's kind of what they were looking at. So it was just actually brought to our attention at the last drainage committee meeting, but I believe it's supposed to be happening fairly soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my impression as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Rod,
Yeah, there's some mention here, Troy, about cutting, increasing the flow under the bridge, Stokes River. Which bridge is that? Is it the one we're looking to replace, or is it one upstream? Or?
Yeah, it's the one upstream at they call the Copper Kettle Bridge. And that is actually the outlet, the end of the municipal drain. And we have done improvements upstream of that, upstream of the Copper Kettle Bridge. But however, there is a section under the bridge that is holding back water. It's the pinch point at this point that's controlling the outlet to the drain. So there will be a recommendation coming forward from the drainage committee from the last meeting about investigating that.
And so is that silted in or filled in, or is that bedrock?
It's bedrock.
Okay.
And so we had to get a structural engineer to look at to see if it was even possible because of your footings of your bridge. Yes.
Yeah, we don't want to replace two bridges on the Stokes.
No, that's correct.
so there was another comment in here about the bypass culverts being looked at. So those are the ones just west or
Yeah, kind of. I guess you call it maybe north of the.
Those smaller ones that are
Correct. So when the work was completed on the drain, as you may recall, that there was part of the concerns when we did the work was there was a flooding of a property.
yes, yes.
And so spoils that was taken out of the municipal drain actually diverted the water away from that area.
Okay.
And so one of the suggestions with handling the peak flows was actually reintroducing those culverts into the system. Because right now that's blocked off.
Okay.
So possibly reintroducing those culverts in for peak flows. It wouldn't be doing anything in low flow, but maybe when there was heavy rain events, that would be another alternative, and that's one of the ones that's being investigated also, along with the chipping of the rock under the bridge.
Would that bring about the same issue as we had before with regard?
Yeah, you would. I believe you'd have to be doing also some kind of protection of the property beyond that. So that's.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Troy. Any other questions on that? Call a vote, all in favor? Motion carried. Other business? Rod?
I just wonder with your indulgence, if we could back up to that initial presentation by Mr. Marcella. And I know we turned it over to staff to make a comment on.
Yes.
We can I'd like to make a comment on that would sort of help staff a bit. We're slowly but surely getting sucked into the health and social services thing, and that's not really our forte, is it? That's not what we should be doing. And this is, it's a good idea. It shouldn't be driven by us, like we shouldn't be throwing money into it. It is a provincial responsibility, and I can see where it has merit. So with that being said, if we threw 35,000 at it, we're obviously setting a precedent for anybody else. Are we giving a little dig to the province saying, hey, you should be doing this now? I'm conflicted here, but I think my ultimate thought is that we shouldn't be getting into that.
I'd like to hear comments from the family health team, I guess, or whatever they call that group in there. Is that what you call them? Family health team? And maybe Amon doesn't want to comment, but. Okay.
It's here, or back to council, or we start,
Yeah.
what else can I say at this point?
This is obviously something they'll look into, but how many people on the Upper Bruce Peninsula right now do not have a family doctor would be important to look at,
Yeah.
given that we have had 2 new doctors
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
area.
I'm not sure where we're at, but we're sitting here and this person said the other day that he didn't, or where was it? Somewhere. He said he was trying to have a doctor here for like years. And hasn't got one, so, but I don't know. It's beyond,
It's such a new concept that it's hard to kind of wrap your mind. I guess it's not new for people that have, phone in on virtual health and that kind of thing. But as an actual business, it's but I do agree in one way. I keep thinking about all the responsibilities the county has taken on that are really should be Ontario. They should be provincial responsibilities.
yeah, they have a report that indicates the number of million they feel that they are assuming a cost. They're assuming costs for that they really shouldn't be. It's not their responsibility, but
This does look like probably a good way to do it in terms of cost effectiveness. Again, it's not a responsibility, but it's something we could use to kick back up the chain to say to the province, hey, we've had people come and ask us as a municipality to throw money in when really it should be you guys.
Yeah.
It almost deserves some sort of a response to the province saying, get your acting gear, and then this may be a good idea if you looked into it, sort of thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see where it lands. Well, any other business? Todd?
I had somebody question me about our bed and breakfast bylaw. And I was wondering if it's time to look at it again and maybe revisit, and whether or not we combine it under STAs or just have a report from staff on where we're at with that.
Is that under your bailiwick? Is that what you handle or just SDAs, Lindsay?
So currently there is no licensing process for bed and breakfast. They operate without oversight from the municipality at the current time.
Yeah, I agree with you then.
That in fact, there was a bylaw of some description with bed and breakfasts because we did it way back before the SDA thing. So then when we delved into last term, the STA thing, the bed and breakfast is sort of but there was to be rules around bed and breakfast. There's somewhere on the books. There is a bylaw about them. Now, whether they're registered, so good to have that brought back up, see what it says and make it more current and more relevant in the world of STAs, 100%.
Right.
Yeah, I think, Todd, the complaint you probably got was bed and breakfasts. Back up, STAs masquerading as bed and breakfasts, right?
Yeah. So we're going to be, so just to guess a question, we're going to be, we do a review every fall on this. So do we incorporate that into that review or do you want it to come right now?
If there's no existing law, then maybe right now. But
okay, yep, bring it forward.
There is a bylaw right now.
Yeah, so right now, our bed and breakfast, as Paul, there is a statement within the zoning bylaw that states that bed and breakfast must be licensed as a business license. And Smokey, you're totally correct. We did actually have B&Bs in the STAs in the STA bylaw. And then it was decided that we'd remove that. So I think it's probably best for us to bring back an overall report of what the essentially implementing what is in the zoning bylaw. It's probably the easiest way for us to move forward. And then we'll provide council with what does that plan look out as a rollout? It probably can't be something that we'll probably want to treat this similar to the STA bylaw with the public communication section and those types of things. So more to come.
Yeah, all right. Okay, other business. Go to correspondence, Bruce Peninsula Hospital Foundation. That's a thank you letter. And the Honorable Robert Black, Senator. And it's a soil health in Canada, and there's a QR code there to download that report. Item C is the Maryland Bettridge, and that's beaver deceivers. And Troy, is that something we
don't have any commercially purchased beaver deceivers. There's numerous ones in the market. However, it is something that we are looking into. We do create or make some of our own, depending on the situation. Yes.
Yeah. All right. And item D is Paulina and Curtis Lake, and that is Little Cove Motorized Watercraft exclusion zone. That's not quite our bailiwick, I don't think. So I guess we can respond to that and head them in the right direction.
I had this same thing in my responses. To the best of my knowledge, open waters are Transport Canada. Is that not correct?
Rod, is it? Or,
Yeah, anything out there would be federal, and there is the provision that 30 meters from shore, it can be a restricted zone, and that it's low speed and no motorized craft roaring through. But of course, the big problem, how do you enforce it?
Yeah.
Right. So
item E is Paul Vickers, and that was the petroleum grant for the Davis cabin, and most of us were there, I believe. Greybear's OPP board approved budget. It's an information thing. Whoops. And that's the unfunded 2025 amount. What's that mean? Do you know what that? I didn't quite get that. Shown as an Ontario grant revenue and not funded from the Greybears. It's just, I'm not sure what that means, and maybe we can get some clarification on that.
Well, as of right now, there's no provincial funding to cover provincial representatives on the detachment board.
Oh.
So it's strictly the 9 municipalities providing $10,000 each. There had been hope that the government would help put more funding in to cover provincial reps, but that's not the case.
Okay. All right, thank you.
It does leave one to wonder, what does the province do with what does the nanny do? When you watch the Real Housewives, what is the provincial money going to? But I'll digress.
Health and education is where it mainly goes, I guess, but. So item G is from Ruth, and this is a host a coffee break and support Alzheimer's awareness, education, and local services. So they're asking, I believe, that we provide a venue. Once we decide our event type and location, you can give us a call. So that's, I don't know where you want to direct this or how you want to deal with that. Yes, Swan.
I was going to say, do you just need a motion to direct staff to arrange for this event? Is that what you're looking for?
Moved by Amon, second by Todd. Any further question? Call the vote. All in favor? Opposed? The motion's carried. All right. So A to F is information. Mover and seconder for that, Todd and then Smokey. All in favor? Motion carried. Bylaws. 2025-53 is a bylaw to appoint a chief building official, deputy chief building official. 2555 is a bylaw to amend the zoning bylaw on Rolison's Road. And 58, removal of a holding zone. We just dealt with that up top for 100 Whippoorwill Road. Amend the zoning bylaw and removal of the holding zone, and same thing here. 59 is on that plan as well on Whippoorwill Road. And 60 is bylaw appointment of bylaw enforcement officers, and 61 is a confirmatory bylaw. Mover and seconder for the bylaws, Rod and Amon. Any questions on any of the bylaws? Call the vote, all in favor. Motion carried. Closed session, no closed session. Motion to adjourn, Smokey and Todd. All in favor. Motion carried. Thank you, everyone. Meeting is adjourned.